Hello. Hello, hello. We'll get started in a few minutes. I'll just wait for people to join us. Let me know if you can hear me okay, see me okay, if everything's good. Say hi in the chat. You can appreciate my new shelf while we're waiting. It has all my Anne of Green Gables trinkets. Hello, Erin. Hello, hello. Feel free to share the link to this live stream on your socials so other people can join us and have fun. It is a bit chilly today, hence the sweater, but it might not stay the whole time. We'll get started in just a few minutes. Actually, while we're waiting, I will share the stream on Facebook. Doo-doo-doo. Hello, Mom. Okay. Let me know at any point if you can't hear me or see me okay or anything like that. We'll just wait a couple more minutes. How's everyone doing? Excited for summer? Hi, Sarah. It's been 5 weeks since the last concert. Usually it's only 4, so I'm just like so excited. Hi, me, Ted. Hi. Oh. I feel like maybe I should just have these on Zoom so that I can actually see your faces, but I won't mess with the system, for now, but that probably would have been a good idea. Yeah, it has been 5 weeks, because of how the dates kind of sorted themselves out. The next one's going to be in 4 weeks, and then I think in July it's going to be 5 weeks again between June and July. Yeah, we will get started maybe in 1 more minute with my little spiel. And then we're going to play some flute tunes. Well, I will play some flute tunes. You will listen. Bethany, hi. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here, of course. I'm so excited. Jackie, hi. Hi. I'm very excited. Let me know if I'm too loud. I'm going to talk about it in a second, but I have a new mic that's a bit finicky. That doesn't really stay in one place in terms of volume. So yeah. Anyways. Sweet, Bethany. Thanks. Why don't we get started? Of course, people hopefully will keep joining us, or some people might be watching afterwards, of course, which is fine. Thank you, Sarah. So welcome, everyone. It's the 10th installment of Caitlin's Cozy Concerts, the concert series where you can remain cozy at home and not catch COVID. I would have gone full cozy pajamas today, but I spared you that. Elizabeth, hi. So excited that you're here. I am, though, a bit more cozy than usual with this winter sweater, to be honest. But anyways. So, of course, in case you didn't know, every last Saturday of the month, You can find me here on YouTube, sharing a space for discussion and reflection, as well as some flute tunes, of course, which always include at least one composer of color and or non-male composer. Thank you so much for being here with me today for this special 10th edition. 10 is just a really fun number, so I'm happy that we made it here. And I hope you are all doing really well today. Before I go any further, of course, I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge that this concert is taking place in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal, on the traditional territory of the St. Lawrence Iroquoians, the Kanien'kehá:ka, Mohawk, and the Haudenosaunee tribes and nations. I found this information from native-land.ca, which tells you which tribes the land you live on belongs to. So that link is in the description box below. I've also included a link to an interactive map, which tells you which residential schools you live closest to. The one closest to Montreal was named La Tuque, and it opened in 1963 and closed in 1978. And it was run by the Anglicans. I want to remind everyone that the last residential school in Canada only closed in 1996 when I was 2 years old. We must continue to acknowledge the history of colonization and genocide in Canada and the effects they continue to have on the Indigenous communities across the country, despite residential schools not existing anymore. Some of you may have already heard about this, but just yesterday, in fact, there was news that the remains of 215 children have been found buried under a former residential school in Kamloops, BC. That's a sentence I don't think anyone should have to say, but something like that can't be ignored or forgotten. And I wanted to share this piece of news with you to illustrate how very real the ongoing genocide of Indigenous people has been for centuries and continues to be. So yes, I've left some important links down below in the description box. I haven't mentioned all of them, but please take a minute to take a look at those links, and you can ask me any questions that you have, of course. So each concert, I send half of all proceeds to the Indigenous or Black communities of Montreal as a form of reparations. In the description box, you can find my email address and PayPal information to encourage you to send some tips my way. The other half of the proceeds will go towards supporting the work involved in putting on these concerts, which includes, of course, practicing, purchasing sheet music, buying proper equipment, and more. And I actually did buy slightly better equipment recently, actually this week, a new microphone. I'm still working out its kinks. I was saying at the top of the show that the volume doesn't actually stay put in one place. So that's been fun to explore. I think it's slightly better than my previous one, at least in terms of recording. So maybe the live stream might end up being the same. But anyways, also a few months ago, I did upgrade the speed of my internet. So that's been slightly better recently. So yes, it is true when I say that part of your donations do indeed go to buying proper technology. Anyways, if you send more than $10, I will send you back a link to a bonus music video, and it's a different song that I record each month. But also, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you would find out the name of the piece beforehand. So my newsletter went out this past Monday. So everyone who was subscribed to it received an email, and one of the secrets, because there are secrets in my newsletters, one of the secrets is always what the bonus piece is. And it's really delightful this month if I do say so myself. So yes, you can subscribe to my newsletter in the link below. If you do donate more than $10, first of all, thank you. Second of all, just make sure to leave your email address in the message section, either of the PayPal or e-transfer donation, so that I can send you back the link to the bonus music video. Of course, in general, any amount helps. I am super appreciative of everyone who donates during these concerts. It really means a lot to me. Last month, I was able to send $41 to Indigenous people in the Montreal area. So thank you so much, everyone who sent funds my way last month. This month, I will be sending money to the Black Healing Fund. And here is what they're all about. Quote, Black Healing Fund is an emerging volunteer-run initiative based in Jojage, Montreal, that seeks to provide Black people in the area with discretionary funding for therapy and other mental health-focused resources. The Black Healing Fund is an initiative that stemmed from no longer being able to accept that Black people, especially queer, trans, non-binary, disabled, and low-income Black people, be expected to pay for their own healing in the system that has not only caused most of our trauma, but is continuously killing us, even in the midst of a global pandemic. Black Healing Fund believes that the cost associated with seeking mental health and wellness should not further burden Black folks, that therapy and other forms of healing should be free for Black communities. We also believe that the limited amount of Black therapists and healers, another symptom of white supremacy, should not be asked to perform free labor. BHF holds both of these values at heart through providing low-income Black people with financial means to access Black-led mental health services of their choosing. A necessary component to the destruction of white supremacy is to offset the devastating effects of our abhorrent colonial histories. This includes redistributing funds from non-Black and non-Indigenous people into Black and Indigenous communities. This is not a charity, but rather a small step towards the dismantling of our violent systems together. End quote. As you can probably tell, this is a super important initiative, and they have currently raised over $45,000 of their $50,000 goal. So please donate generously if you can. It would be so awesome if they can reach their goal, maybe even before next month's concert. That would be so cool. You can learn even more about the Black Healing Fund through the link in the description box below. Finally, I'm almost done, I promise. I want to announce the theme for this concert, which you've already seen everywhere. It is classic flute repertoire. So I've chosen pieces that are standards in the classical flute repertoire, though I do want to say, I don't believe that they're inherently better than any other piece, especially more contemporary ones. They're just simply well-known pieces that flutists know, especially. And they're just a lot of fun to play. So I thought the 10th Cozy Concert would be a good time to bust them out and share them with you. As you've already been doing, please continue to leave comments as we go. I'll be answering questions or comments that you leave. And I really want this to be a space where we can have discussions and have fun and kind of change the format of classical music concerts, because that is something I like doing. So your prompt today is to tell me what your favorite classical music piece. Your prompt today is to tell me in the chat what your favorite classical music piece is to play and or to listen to. It could be from any period of classical music, Baroque, contemporary, whatever, but anything in the classical music genre. I'm curious to know what's something you really love playing or what's something that you really love listening to. Of course, I will share some of mine as you share yours. Today's program is obviously 4 of those pieces would already be some of my answers, but I'll share some other ones with you, of course, as well. So let me know if you have any questions, by the way, literally about anything. I love answering questions. It is one of my passions. So we are going to kick things off, of course, with a Telemann fantasy. Elizabeth says, I love playing Rebecca Clark's Viola Sonata. Yes, I'm pretty sure I've heard it before. That is awesome. Rebecca Clark is really, really, really cool. Actually, I think I included her in one of my, so if you're a student of mine, I send a weekly newsletter, and there's different like parts to it. And one of the parts at the end is like an artist spotlight. I'm pretty sure I've featured Rebecca Clark before. So that's really cool. Bethany said, love playing Valerie Coleman's Wish Sonatine and listening to Prokofiev classical. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Bethany, that was Valerie Coleman's piece. That was the one you played on your recital? If so, that was fantastic. Absolutely amazing. And Prokofiev classical is also one of my absolute favorite pieces. Definitely more so to listen to than to play. Like, it's fun to play. It's just so hard. So listening is easier. Yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Bethany played Valerie Coleman's Wish Sonatine on her recital recently. Just throwing that out there, and it was fantastic, absolutely amazing. Prokofiev Classical is a bop, definitely. One of my other, I'll offer an extra one of mine apart from today's program. One of my absolute favorite pieces to listen to and to play is Franck's Violin Sonata, which I played the first movement a few months ago in February. That is definitely up there as one of my top ones. Sarah says, I don't listen to a lot of classical music, so I only listen to what you recommend to me. And so Dance on Number 2 is my fave. Yes. Yes, I love that. I recommended Dance on Number 2 to Sarah, like, I think when you were graduating high school, maybe like a long time ago, because my youth orchestra was playing it and everyone like fell in love with it. And it was just like really kind of went viral for a while, for like a few years. Yes. Oh my God. Hi, Dad. My dad says, I was watching FB, but now made it here. Hello. Oh, I see. Okay, yes. Hi, hello. Thank you for being here. Again, just in general, let me know if there's any technical issues. If the video is not working or the audio is not working, let me know, because I will never be able to tell. Everything just always looks okay to me. I can't see what you guys see really, so just let me know, just at any point. It's all good if you want to let me know. So as I was saying, I love your comments though. Yeah, Sarah says it was during high school. It was such a coincidence because my school orchestra played it during my graduation. I know, I'll never forget that. I remember when you told me that. So I had told Sarah to listen to Dance on Number 2, and then at her high school graduation, the orchestra actually played it. And she told me after, and that was so funny. I love that. That is like such a great experience. Yeah, we are going to start off with a Telemann fantasy. In case some of you didn't know, I made it a little, project of mine to perform all 12 of Telemann's solo flute fantasies since the beginning of this concert series. So today we're on to number 10. This one actually does go with today's theme. Usually they kind of don't. I just play them at the beginning and then the theme applies to the rest of the program. But today I think that this fantasy actually applies to the program because it is one of my favorite of his fantasies. And I know that it's one of the more popular ones anyways with flutists. It's an F sharp minor, and there are 3 movements. I wasn't too familiar with this one until a couple of years ago, actually. I went to Paris. I always do this when I do that. I know it's a joke. I'm really not trying to be elitist. It's a joke. But I did go to Paris for a flute competition 2 years ago. And afterwards, there was a gala concert where the winners performed. I was not a winner, but a large group of us played this flute quartet piece that went horribly. I'll tell you after if anyone's interested in that story, because it's a story. Anyways, at this gala concert, one of the performers that evening was a young girl who played this fantasy number 10 on a Baroque flute, which sounds very different from the modern metal flutes. And she performed it by memory, and it was just super beautiful and mesmerizing. Like, she was just super focused and dedicated. And for whatever reason, I've just never forgotten her performance. It's always really stayed in my mind from that trip. So every time I play this fantasy now, it's kind of associated with that memory of her playing it. She was really amazing. The first movement is slow and mournful, in my opinion. Lots of ups and downs, quite emotional. The second movement is relatively quick and serious. And the third and last movement is kind of in between in terms of tempo. I find it to be very sweet and delicate. Bethany says that's really sweet. Yeah, she was just, and it was kind of like, it was in a really big church. And so when the performers played, they had like a few steps up and they were playing kind of a bit higher up than the audience. And she was just looking kind of straight ahead. And she just played she must have only been like 10 or 12 years old. It was kind of nuts. And she just played super beautifully. And I just remember being super like laser focused to listening to her. I usually can't concentrate very well when I'm listening to people play music. I know, weird, because I'm a musician. I get that. Also can explain this a bit later if you'd like. I can't focus when I listen to classical music. Anyways, I was really focused when I listened to her, and it was just beautiful. So yeah, I always just kind of associate this piece with her now. I think that was the first time I'd heard it as well. Maybe that's why. Yeah, so this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to play Telemann's 10th Solo Flute Fantasy in F sharp minor. I hope my microphone behaves. I think it's going to be fine, but yeah, let me know. Sarah says it's so wonderful. Yeah, I don't know. I think she was from Poland maybe or something. She was from like Eastern Europe. It was just great. It was just really great. I think, yeah, I realize now, I think part of it is that I had never heard that one before. So I was just really, and it's just, as I was saying, it's one of my favorite ones now. So clearly it kind of made an impression on me. I'm always curious to know what people think of when they hear these fantasies. For the most part, I don't have a story or image when I play these. I go by the emotions and the kind of Baroque style more so. But I'm always so curious to know like what it evokes for people listening. So definitely if something comes to mind when you're listening, please let me know. I'd be super, super curious to hear your thoughts. So here we go. Fantasy number 10 in F sharp minor by Telemann. I'm just going to test something with the mic. Bear with me. So that was Telemann's Fantasy number 10 in F sharp minor. Jackie says, lovely. I really enjoyed the contrast in color weight from the upper and lower registers. Thank you. Fred, hi Fred. Thank you. Admittedly, like I predicted, I am now too hot, so the sweater is coming off. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you, Ted. Everyone's so nice. So again, your prompt today is to tell me what are some of your favorite classical music pieces, either to play or to listen to. Obviously, today these are some of my top ones that I'm sharing with you. But I had mentioned that I also really like one of my favorites is the Franck Violin Sonata, and I'll share some more of mine as you share some of yours. Thank you, everyone. I love Telemann too, Mom. I do too. Thanks, Bethany. I'm so excited for the rest of this program. I can't even. So because I'm so excited, we're just going to move right on to the next piece. Friendly reminder, of course, I am accepting tips. If you're so inclined to send some money my way, half of all donations I receive are going to be sent to the Black Healing Fund. You can find out more about them down below. And you can find my PayPal and e-transfer information in the description box as well. If you send more than $10, I will send you back a link to a bonus music video that is delightful this month. That's all I'm going to say. You don't want to miss out. But thank you so much, of course, for being here with me. And if you do donate as well, thank you so much in advance. So we're going to move on to piece number 2, which is Cécile Chaminade's Flute Concertino, composed in 1902. Chaminade was a white French woman born in 1857, and she's one of the more famous female composers in the classical music canon. She wrote a lot of songs as well as chamber music. And so her concertino and me go way back. I first learned it in 2012, which is almost 10 years ago. And it was probably the most advanced piece I learned up until then. I ended up winning my youth orchestra's concerto competition with this piece in 2013, and I performed it later that year. The performance of that concertino, was also one of the only times I've performed something by memory. And even though I had a few blunders during the performance, it was one of the only times I also didn't feel overly anxious while performing. So it's one of my proudest moments as a musician, and I'm really happy that the piece that means the most to me, which is this one, was written by a woman. So I think that's really cool. Jackie says, I have such a soft spot for Chaminade. I know, right? Oh, Erin also says, Chaminade. Yes, I did wear, when I performed this concerto, I wore a dress donated to me by my sister. Yes, she wants me to mention that. So it always gives me chills to play and perform this piece. And I hadn't looked at it in a few years, actually. But back then, it's what really cemented my love for flute and for playing music. I know that it's become a really popular piece for flutists to play, and I think people find it a bit cheesy nowadays, but I'm going to just chalk that up to sexism because honestly, this is an amazing piece. So, and I don't think it's cheesy. I think it's just beautiful. You will hear that it is indeed a very romantic piece, very endearing in my opinion. The main theme is beautiful, rich, emotional. I love, it begins with the descending piano line that just, I love it. There are various sections throughout the piece, some fast, some slow, there's a cadenza, but it's all very exciting and easy to listen to, I find. I will be playing with a recording of the piano part by Jung Yoon, who is an amazing pianist, and he's recorded a few hundred backing tracks for musicians on YouTube. So definitely make sure to check him out if you're a musician. So without further ado, here is Cécile Chaminade's Flute Concertino, the version for flute and piano. It's going to take me just a quick minute to set up my pink Bluetooth speaker. I always have to show it. So just give me a second. But yes. Yeah, my mom says, oui, Chaminade, j'adore. J'adore, moi aussi. Moi aussi. I wish she wrote more flute music. There's one other piece that I know for flute and piano, which is very pretty as well. But I wish there was even more. Okay. This. Yeah, Bethany says Serenade aux Étoiles. Yeah, exactly. I learned it like on my own. I think like last year, but I'd love to perform it one day. Okay, sorry, give me one second. Okay, so this is the concertino for flute and piano. There's also a version, of course, for flute and orchestra. Voila. Thank you. Clean. Aaron says clean runs. Okay, thanks, but sure. Fred says, great. Did playing with orchestra change how you interpret the piece? Yes. Put this down. From what I remember playing with orchestra, the one thing that comes to mind is that I had to, what am I trying to say? I tried to avoid like forcing my sound because I'm just one flute. The orchestra is like 30 people. And I had to make sure that I didn't try to like play louder than the orchestra. I had to just like, you know, play how I play, try and think about projection instead of like forcing my sound through the flute. So that was an interesting experience for sure when I played with orchestra. Elizabeth says, it's such a lovely piece. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I was really hot while I was playing. Thank you so much. This is, like I was saying, this is one of my favorite pieces. I think this is the first time I ever played the ending properly. So you're welcome. Yeah, Ted, I was going to ask, I completely forgot. Ted and I played in youth orchestra together, and I couldn't remember if you were in WISO yet or not. But Ted says that it was his first year in the orchestra when we played this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like this is more of a rumor than anything, but I heard that apparently at McGill, you're like not allowed to play this piece on exams or recitals because it was like overdone for a few years. Like too many people played it. And I'm like, you're really gonna like stop people from playing one of the only flute pieces written by a woman, like from at least a few hundred years ago? Like, really? You're gonna do that? Okay. Sounds like McGill. Anyways, that was Chaminade. Jackie says, yeah, a lot of people play Mozart. Mozart should be banned. Like, not actually. But like, I don't know. I remember my teacher being like, yeah, like you can't play Chaminade just in general, just because like people play it too often. But I don't know if this is really true. This is speculation. Yes, it does sound like McGill. McGill's an interesting place, is all I'm going to say about that. Right, there's a Chaminade stigma. I'll also, like, after I played that piece in my youth orchestra, the rest of the year, like, if someone, like, people would, like, make fun of it because they found it cheesy. So they would, like, sing the main theme, like the piano part and the flute part at the beginning, and people would laugh because it was like, oh my God, like, so cheesy. No, it's not cheesy at all. It's just beautiful. There's a lot of stuff that's cheesy that we play all the time anyways. I'm just going to crack open my window because it's hotter than I was expecting. Anyways, we're going to move on. Bethany says she wrote it for her ex's wedding, and I love how petty that is. I did not know that. How did I not know that? I love that. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. I wish it was like longer, or like, yeah, I just wish that there were more flute pieces by her. But anyways. My dad says, what happened to the air conditioner? It's in the living room, Father. She wrote it as a present knowing he couldn't play it. Oh my God. Like, couldn't play it because like he wasn't good enough, or couldn't play it because like she didn't want him to play it. I did not know that. I don't know how I didn't know that because that's a great anecdote. Oh, I need to turn this off. Oops. Yes, because he wasn't good enough. It's like it both looks and doesn't look hard, and it both is and isn't hard. Back when I played it like almost 10 years ago, I was taking everything, I think, like way too fast, and I was like not skilled enough yet to make things sound very clean. I was just kind of like rushing my way through all the runs. And I tried not to do that this month. And today I somewhat succeeded. We love a petty queen. Yes. Yes. But like, I'm glad that people like basically have always known that Chaminade is a good composer. I'm pretty sure during her lifetime as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's nice, but a true icon, truly. So we're going to move on to piece number 3, which is Bach's Partita in A minor for solo flute. And it was composed sometime after 1723. The exact date is unknown. Johann Sebastian Bach, for those of you who aren't aware, was a white German composer in the 1700s. And his Partita is definitely one of the most iconic solo flute pieces in classical music. Today, I will only be playing the third movement, the Sarabande. I performed the first movement of this piece for the Nextas Festival, which just passed, but maybe I will release the video one day, or just probably the audio. So the partita contains 4 movements, and they all have names associated with different dances of the time. So there's the Allemande, Corrente, Sarabande, and Bourrée Angloise. So today, as I mentioned, you'll just hear the Sarabande, which is a dance in triple meter. So 1, 2, 3, that sort of vibe. What's always been interesting to me is that this entire partita doesn't really seem like it was written for people to literally dance to, despite the dance titles. It just seems like a very flute-focused piece, which is how I kind of interpret it myself. Of course, I do try as much as I can to keep some dance-like elements in my playing, but you'll hear that this sarabande just, at least in my opinion, it really just sounds like kind of like a sad love story sort of thing, or not love story, love song, instead of like an actual dance. But apart from everything I've just described, I do think it speaks for itself. So we will go right on to the Sarabande from Bach's Partita in A minor for solo flute. Also, the first movement of this was what I auditioned for that competition in Paris 2 years ago. So first movement is definitely, I feel like the first movement's more iconic than the third one, but because I just played it very recently in the festival, I didn't want to play it again. So we're doing the third movement today. Anyways, here it is. In a second. So that was the Sarabande from Bach's Partita in A minor for solo flute. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. It's one of those things that like you don't see that many notes on the page, and you get to a point after which, as a musician, the less notes you see, sometimes the scarier, especially when you know it has to be slow, particularly. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a really nice one. I chose not to do the repeats today just to save a bit of time, but normally there'd be some, ornaments and that sort of thing, but another time. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Again, your prompt is to tell me some of your favorite classical music pieces to either play or listen to. Today, the pieces that I am presenting, obviously, are some of mine. I mentioned the Franck Violin Sonata is also like in my top favorite pieces. And then some of my other ones that come to mind right away, basically anything by Reinecke, so the Undine Sonata and the Concerto. And then the Prokofiev Flute Sonata is like one of my absolute favorites ever. Ted says Pines of Rome. Yeah. We played, Ted and I, pretty sure we were both in Wiza when we played that in youth orchestra, Pines of Rome. It's a really big piece. Thanks, Mom. Jackie says, I'm a sucker for Rachmaninoff piano concertos. Yes. Also his symphonies. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I only know one of them. Rachmaninoff Symphony No. 2. I played it in a different youth orchestra. Holy moly. It is one of the most beautiful pieces on this planet. And the piano concertos as well. Yes, that's so true. Yes. One of his piano concertos, maybe Fred would know which one. There's a slow movement in one of the piano concertos that Celine Dion's song, I think All By Myself, I think it's that song, the melody is based off of that. No, maybe it's not that song. Oh my God, I forget. One of Celine Dion's songs is based off of one of the movements of Rachmaninoff's piano concertos. I just can't remember which song or which piano concerto, but I know that is a true thing. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, Prokofiev for me. Elizabeth says Tchaikovsky's Souvenir de Florence is one of my favorite pieces of chamber music. I've never heard of that. I will definitely look it up because Tchaikovsky is one of my favorite composers of all time. Literally anything by Tchaikovsky that I've listened to thus far in my life, I love. So, wow. Okay, I will go listen to it. Thanks, Elizabeth. That is awesome. Tchaikovsky symphonies, out of this world. Yeah, I'll definitely listen to it. Is it for like string ensemble or is it like a mixed chamber ensemble? Sorry. Okay. Mic. Let me know if was the mic situation, sound situation okay while I'm playing? I really can't even tell. Yes, okay, so I was right. I always doubt myself, but I was right. Jackie says, All By Myself has the second movement of Sergei Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. Yes. That is an association you never would have thought was possible. But yes, if you listen to All By Myself, you don't even listen to it. Everyone probably already knows the song. Go listen to Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2, second movement, and you will recognize the theme. Ted says that the Tchaikovsky piece is a string sextet. Okay. String. Okay, perfect. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. I know is there a Serenade for Strings by Tchaikovsky? I'm pretty sure. That one I've heard. I've listened to, but nice. Cool. We have very quickly, in my opinion, arrived. Oh God, this is so loud. arrived at the end of the show. Well, not the end of the show. That's a lie. The last piece on today's program, because you all know I can't ever shut up, so the end of the show is far away. Friendly reminder, of course, that I am accepting tips for this concert, and half of everything I receive will be sent off to the Black Healing Fund. I donate through their GoFundMe. By the way, I don't think I've ever mentioned this in any of the concerts. When I donate to the Black Healing Fund, or if I give money directly to Indigenous people, I'm not getting any like tax receipts or anything like that. Just to kind of let you guys know that when you're donating money, I'm just kind of for the half of the money that goes to Black Healing Fund or Indigenous people, I'm just the messenger. So I'm not getting any kind of benefits from it, just to let you know that, because I want to be transparent about that. But yes, I donate through their GoFundMe. And if you donate more than $10, you will receive a very nice bonus music video that you don't want to miss out on. So yes. Sorry, okay. The last piece on today's program is definitely one of the beasts in the classical flute repertoire, maybe even the just classical music repertoire in general. I think it's one of the hardest pieces for flutists. Not like the entire time, not every single part of it is hard, but it's a long piece, so endurance-wise, it's quite challenging. And there are some sections that are very, very technical and that contain, honestly, some of the hardest music out there for flute, in my opinion. So this piece that I'm talking about is Franz Schubert's Introduction, Theme, and Variations on Trockene Blumen, and it was composed in 1824, which means it's almost been 200 years. So remind me to play it again in 3 years to celebrate the 200th anniversary of this piece. Schubert was a white Austrian male composer, and he tragically passed away at the age of 31 in 1828. But he composed over 1,500 pieces in his lifetime, most notably for voice, but also for chamber ensembles, orchestra, solo instruments, general, common things that you would compose for. So this piece is for flute and piano, and it is based on Schubert's own song cycle that he wrote the year before. A song cycle is a collection of songs that all go together under one narrative arc or story. The song cycle that he composed in 1823 is called Die schöne Müllerin, which means the fair maid of the mill, and the texts were taken from poems by Wilhelm Müller. So it's kind of complicated, bear with me. So the flute piece is based on just one of the songs from that song cycle, and so the song is called Trockene Blumen, or Withered Flowers. So that song in the song cycle is the 18th song, so it's very close to the end of the cycle. I'm going to explain what it's about, but it's going to be lacking an immense amount of context. So because of that, I have left a link in the description box to where you can find information about his song cycle that he composed in 1823. And you'll get the full story of what's going on there. But now I'm just going to read you the description of the one song that this flute piece is based on. Quote, "And when she passes my grave, she will think he was true to me. In an elaborate death fantasy, because why not, the miller wishes to be buried with now withered flowers the maiden had given him. When she sees this, she will know his heart was faithful. The flowers will bloom again, and thus his winter will have passed. Through composed, the accompaniment at first represents the withered flowers with a minimalist series of simple chords. As the flowers bloom, the music becomes more lyrical and the harmony and rhythm more intricate." End quote. I do find that actually represents the flute piece as well when they were talking about the accompaniment and rhythm and stuff. Basically, it's a love story, tragic ending, typical in classical music. I worked on this piece back in 2017 when I was at Orford studying with Julien Bodimont, and I had so much fun working on it with him. So every time I play it now, I just think about him and the fun we had and everything we talked about while I was working on this piece with him. And it's such a long piece that everyone had, I think, 4 lessons with him throughout the week, and I just used up all 4 to work on this piece because it's so long. And I never worked on it with anyone else, so just by myself or with him. So this piece is kind of just forever associated with Julien Benzema in my mind because I worked on it with him. But it's also just one of my all-time favorite flute pieces. Of course, that's why I'm playing it today for today's program. It's just a beast, as I was saying earlier on. So you will hear a fairly long introduction at the beginning, then a short theme, which begins with the piano, and then the flute comes in. And then finally, we're going to go into a series of 7 variations on the theme. I don't want to give much more away. I really, really hope you enjoy this piece. And I'll be playing with a backing track from the YouTube channel Flute Orchestral Backings and Piano Accompaniments. They have a lot of great backing tracks. You will, just a disclaimer, you'll hear some clicking sounds at different points in the piece because for some of the variations, it starts right away with the flute, but the backing track is just audio. There's no one, no, it's just the score on the video and it's just audio. So sometimes there's going to be clicking sounds to let me know, when to come in. So just ignore those. But yeah, I'm going to set up again with the speaker, and then we're gonna listen to, you're going to listen to Schubert's introduction, theme, and variations on Trockene Blumen. So just to clarify everything I just said, he wrote this piece based on one of his previous pieces. And it's sad. Oh, man. Oops. Schubert's variations. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sarah and Jackie. Jackie says both the flute and piano parts are so enjoyable. Yes. Sorry, I have no idea how loud this is, but yes. Oh my God, such a great piano part, which I know like some parts are really challenging for the pianist, so I don't know if they love it, but thanks, Mom. See what I mean by like it's a beast because like first of all, it's just so beautiful and amazingly written, but also it's really long and there's repeats everywhere. So just like by the end, you're just like, oh my God. Thank you, Bethany. I'm curious if any of you saw my post on social media yesterday and like recognized what I played yesterday in what I played today. I decided not to yell anything in the middle of the piece this time. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Mom. Yeah, it's honestly one of my favorite pieces ever. And it's just like allow me 1 second to self-indulge. I actually am very surprised at how much progress I made on this piece in terms of the really technical movements. Because when I worked on it a few years ago, it just wasn't clicking. I just like, no matter how much practice I was doing, like slow practice, every time I tried to play it at tempo, my fingers were just collapsing. Like it just was not working. And I'm just really, really proud of myself for how far I've come on this piece and how much better my technique got. Is it perfect? No. Am I the best in the world? No. Do I care? Not anymore. I had fun and I played better than I have ever played this piece. So I will stop in a second, but I just want to say that I just need to tell myself that I'm proud of myself. Yeah, thanks, Bethany. Mom, is that rhetorical or are you actually asking a question? I'm confused. Thanks, Dad. Oh my God, I would like love to play this in like a church where it's like super echoey. The piano part is so good. I love when it has in variation 2 and 4, it like starts, it's like more the piano, like the spotlights on the piano for those variations. Oh my God, such a rich piano part. Ooh, so good. Also, I just want to show you guys, okay? Sarah says, I think you're wonderful. Thank you. I love you. So the movement that is one of the reasons why I say this piece is so hard is the 5th variation, where the flute has like a million notes that never end. And I just cut out a bunch of them because I need to breathe, because I think Schubert, as much as I love him, I have the feeling Schubert temporarily forgot that humans, but also flutists, need to breathe sometimes. Anyways, so this is what it looks like. So it starts here. And then this whole page, each line is 1 bar, by the way. Anyways, you don't need to know the details. This is the 5th variation, which is honestly, this whole section is what makes it like the hardest piece, one of the hardest pieces for flutists, in my opinion. So this man wrote at the end of the piece, he was like, oh, hey, actually, I don't know what any of these words mean. I think this means, Aaron, maybe you know. So it says, you know what? I'm not even going to pronounce this. Something version of variation 5. So he wrote an alternate version for variation 5, which no one plays because you thought there was a lot of notes on the other page. Look at this. What is this? Who would play this? No one. Sorry, I'm getting riled up. I just find it hilarious. I've never heard anyone play it. There's all sorts of low Bs. Oh my God, I haven't even looked at this. Maybe if you stay to the end, this is going to be fun. If you guys stay longer, maybe I'll try to sight read this alternate version. Sorry. Anyways, I should catch up on the comments. Thank you, Sarah. Oh my God. Dad says, Sarah got to run and finish destroying a swing set. I have no idea what that means, but okay. Bye, Dad. Thank you. Thanks, Mom. Jackie says so many notes. I know, right? Like, bro, like, calm down. Like, I can't even understand, but this looks even harder than that. The variation that people actually play. Oh my God. Anyways. Yeah. Yes, thanks, Mom. Yes, I will. I'll say what I need to say at the end before everyone needs to go. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I got carried away by this piece. I just want to show everyone that. But yes, we arrived at the end of the show, as you've surmised. I hope you guys had fun. I certainly did. And of course, if you did have fun, you can feel free to send a tip my way through e-transfer or PayPal. You can think of it as, a small admission price that you might pay to a local concert, in a church or something. Think about what that usually costs, and that could be how much you send my way. And 50% of what everyone sends my way will then be sent to the Black Healing Fund. You can learn all about them down below. And of course, if you send more than $10, you'll receive an extra special bonus video. That's one of my favorite ones that I've done. So, and I'll send that back to you through email. So just leave your email address when you send the PayPal or e-transfer donation. Thank you so much. Obviously, no pressure to donate. I'm truly, truly happy to just stand here and chat with you all and play music for you and have fun, no matter what I receive afterwards or anything like that. I will keep doing these shows, but please make sure to check out all the resources down below. I know I left a lot of them, but most of them are the ones that I put there every concert. So just take a look. And you can mark your calendars for the next concert, which will be on Saturday, June 26th at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Montreal time. Some of you, actually, I don't know if I want to announce this yet. Okay, I'm just going to keep it vague. Next month's show is going to be called Fun with Friends, and I'll be playing some fun duets. Sorry, tongue twister. I'll be playing some fun duets with close friends of mine. Hi. And I'm very excited. So, Fred says Quebec Day theme. No. No. My sister's birthday, maybe I'm just going to say it because I've already said half the sentence. My sister's birthday is on June 24th. So we do celebrate that day. Maybe I'll throw in a song, but we'll see. No, it's just going to be, it's probably going to be a bit on the shorter side. I'm doing a workshop in June with the Laboratoire de Musique Contemporaine de Montréal. And it's like a whole month-long workshop. So I wanted something kind of fun and light to do at the end of the month for these concerts, instead of, for example, the Schubert, which took me all month to refine. So it's just going to be some fun flute duets. Flute, not just flute, but I won't say anything more. Sorry, I I love Quebec. I'll stop there. And Jackie says maybe some Celine Dion. Yeah. Well, since you guys are still watching, so at the end of July, it's going to be a movies and musicals theme. And because I have a lot of constraints with like how to choose the program, I might just actually also like choose songs, like pop songs that have maybe like appeared in a movie instead of it just being like orchestral movie music, that sort of thing. But yeah, that would be fun. I could probably manage some Celine Dion in July. Yes. Yeah, so we've arrived at the part of the show where I have trouble stopping the live stream. So I just keep talking because I love talking. So yeah, you can leave me some more comments if you have questions as well. There's some stories that I mentioned. If you want me to tell the story of, the gala concert in Paris when I went for the competition, there's actually two stories that contain a lot of tea. Thanks, Bethany. Sarah says that there's no My Heart Will Go On, I Will Riot. Okay, I was debating. I already started like looking into what music to play for July. And on Tomplay, they have My Heart Will Go On. And I was like, nah, like that's cheesy, right? Like that's too much. I can't do that. But now my best friend said I had to, so I will. Jackie says, I like the way you say Paris. Paris or Paris? Did I say Paris at one point? I don't know. Paris. How do I say it? Do I say it funny? Paris. I really feel like telling that story, but I don't know if anyone will. I don't know if anyone will care. Sarah says my word is a lot. Yeah. Okay. So you heard it here first. In July, at the end of July, one of the things I'll play is My Heart Will Go On. All right. Oh, I should turn this off. Oh, I say kind of like British people? Oh my God, I love that. The story? Okay. I'll tell, because there's 2 stories that contain tea from that day. One of them I'll make quick, the other I'll like explain a bit more. One of the stories that I'll make quick is that one of the finalists, so he was playing in the gala concert, I was just like watching, played the Nielsen concerto, or the first movement, I think, of the Nielsen concerto, and by memory, and he bombed. He did not know the music, by memory at least. He clearly knew the music because he had earlier in the day presumably passed, like become a finalist of this competition with that piece. I'm assuming for some reason he decided to do it by memory for the concert. It was awful. He didn't know anything. He kept messing up every single phrase. Every single phrase. And then I got like mad because I was like, this is so disrespectful. Like, don't do it by memory. Like, other people were playing with music. It would have been fine anyways. So that was one thing of tea. The thing that happened is that the non-like finalists, so me and other people, we knew in advance that we could play this flute quartet piece with a bunch of us, so multiple people on each part, and we would play it for the gala concert. But what happened is that after they announced the like winners of the competition in the afternoon, they were like, okay, so now the people who want to play that quartet piece, like come on stage in this small room, like come in and work on it together. And we all just kind of assumed like, okay, so someone's gonna like not even conduct us necessarily, but be there to like manage the rehearsal. No, they just left us. So me and actually a friend of mine who I'd met on Instagram, and then we both came to the competition, and oh my God, it was so awesome to see her there. Me and my friend were just looking at each other like, how are we? Because some of us were like I was in my 20s, some people were like 17, some people were 12. Like it was just a mishmash of like 10 or 12 people. We were all just kind of looking at each other like, how are we supposed to do this? And the piece was not that easy. Like it wasn't like Mozart or whatever. Like it was like a more contemporary, I think it was Ibel or some other French composer. It was not that easy. And there was 4 movements. Anyway, so the rehearsal wasn't happening. Finally, like one of the organizers of the competition came back to like see how we were doing. And we were just like, can you help us? Like, this is not working. So he kind of like conducted us a bit. And then he's like, oh, but tonight you'll do it by yourselves, right? And we were like, no. Anyways, it was awful. So during the concert, we played at the end. It was just really bad. Like no one fully knew their part that well, including myself kind of, but he was not the guy was a flutist. He wasn't even a conductor actually. So I hope none of these people will ever see this, but it was just really bad. Like everyone, like people came in at the wrong time and that sort of thing. So that's the story of when I played in a church in Paris and it was bad. But honestly, the bigger tea was really that guy who completely obliterated the Nielsen concerto. And I got mad because that's one of my favorite pieces of all time. I forgot to mention this today. That's also what Nielsen, says Nielsen. These are the first 2 notes of the Nielsen concerto, okay? So I love this concerto. And this guy just like ruined it. He couldn't play it. He did not know it by memory. I got so mad. I'm so mad talking about it again. And then what was really funny, I don't even know if anyone's listening anymore. What was really funny was the next person to play after him during the concert was someone who was going to play the second movement of that concerto. And I remember one of the judges of the competition was like there on the side watching. And you could tell he was like going like this when the other guy was playing because like the guy didn't know his music. And then when the next person was about to go on to play the second movement of the concerto, he like pulled him aside and he was like, "Are you going to play with the music?" Like he was gesturing because that guy was also going to play without his music. And so he got worried, and he was like to the guy, like, are you gonna like take your music with you? And the guy's like, no, it's okay, don't worry. And then this guy played like beautifully, phenomenally well. It was fine. But I just remember the judge just like getting panicked, like, no, don't play by memory. Like, don't. Oh my God, Jackie. Yes. Jackie says Nielsen Concerto, more like Nielsen Concerno. It was bad. I did not clap for him, and I was sitting in the front row. It was a poor decision on his part. Poor decision. And the thing was too, is like, I felt bad as well, because of course, like, that's an awful experience. And obviously he was probably mad at himself as well. Like, I didn't want to be mean about it, like in my head to him, because that was clearly terrible for him as well. But like, he was just like making things up. Like, he would improvise like runs, because he didn't know the runs by heart. And the thing was, this guy sounded beautiful. His sound was gorgeous. Clearly, he just won a competition in Paris, like, or was one of the finalists. So like, of course he's a great flute player. So it was just like, so like, why would you do that? Like, it's awful. It was so bad. I was so mad. I was like, they should take away his prize. Anyways, that's my story. I'm going to put my flute away. I'm not going to sight read this Schubert thing, because I don't feel like it right now, but I will. Maybe I'll do that on social media. Jackie says some brains should never play music memorized, including me. Yeah. Like, I don't play memorized. I don't even know when the last time I performed something memorized was. Performed something by memory. One of the last times would have been the Chaminade concerto. Like, I really rarely, if ever, do anything by memory. And it's a controversial topic, of course. But anyways, yeah, like, it was just a preparedness thing. He just wasn't prepared to do it by memory, because he clearly knew the piece. He had just become a finalist with it. So it was just the memory part that he should not have done. The only song I played memorized is 1,000 Miles Per Second. I love that, Jackie. Oh my God, I love that. I don't even know, what else have I done kind of by memory? I've worked with like composers, or done like little pop things here and there where it's like really repetitive by memory, but oh my God, I can't. No, I can't. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm going to start putting my flute away, but we can keep talking. So that was the tea about Paris. But hey, if anyone asks, I still tell people, like, yeah, I have performed in Paris. You don't need to know how, in what context. You don't need to know that it was an awful, awful concert. Apart from that girl who played the Telemann Fantasy. And some of the other players, of course, were absolutely out of this world fantastic. Like, oh my God. Diego, hi. Says, as a student, I struggle a lot playing from memory. It's like the only way to get good points from the judges. So my teacher has me do it often, probably again, since I'm just a student. Yeah, I know. Yeah, especially as a flutist, like, it's kind of half-half. I feel like at competitions, you should, like, you're kind of encouraged to play things by memory. I still, like, I don't think I've ever done anything by memory for a competition. But I don't know, it can be stressful, because also like not everyone's brains works the same way. So something like, some people obviously just, people who have like, what's it called? Photographic memory or whatever. Is that what it's called? I don't even know if what I said made sense. But like, some people's memory is really, really good. So for them, it's like nothing. And then some people's memory, or like in the music context, is not, it just doesn't work, or it's just really, really, really hard. So it's like, what's the point? Because the point, in my opinion, is to make nice music. And if like doing something by memory causes you like a lot of stress, or it's just like too challenging, then like it shouldn't be required, you know? But I know, like, pianists and violinists are the ones that really like always basically do things by memory. So I'm assuming maybe there's something about those instruments and that music that lends itself better to memorizing things, but I don't know. I don't really know. It's not as common for wind players to consistently play by memory, basically. But yeah, I was happy when I did the Chaminade by memory. I definitely forgot like an entire bar at one point. I just blanked. I think it's because I wasn't anxious. I was just like really, really happy to play. And then I probably just got like swept up by the happiness. My thoughts just wandered. And then all of a sudden I was like, what's this bar again? I don't know. Next bar. So that was funny. But what was awesome is that it didn't faze me at all. I just kind of like laughed in my head while it was happening. So that's good. I wasn't like upset or anything, which is great. Jackie says, exactly. I think it's also hard not being able to see your fingers really. Yes, that's probably why, actually. I definitely had an easier time memorizing songs on piano and violin than flute. That's so true. That probably is exactly why, actually. Yeah, that's definitely a good reason, I think. Like, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, like on piano, I mean, I learned a bit of piano kind of in CJEB, and oh yeah, it was so easy to like memorize a piece because like, oh yeah, anyways, that makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, of course, for singers too. Singers would always, tend to always memorize things. I think that in part is because when you have lyrics or words, that makes the memory association a bit easier. I'm going to lean on this. But yeah, I think it's nice for concertos to be memorized. It's just nice to like, it's nice, but it's not, it doesn't really mean anything. Like it's, in my opinion, like you're still just like, if you're playing with music, it'd still be great. Also, like contemporary music, some of it is like impossible. You can't memorize that stuff. Like you either have like all these alternate fingerings, you have all these like notation things that are different. It's virtually impossible, in my opinion, to memorize that. So for contemporary music, you don't actually often see people memorize that much stuff. Yeah. Jackie says, just reminded me of my biggest memory slip up singing at a voice recital, musical theater style, nice, and forgetting the words to an Aida song and running off stage. Oh no. Oh, Jackie, I'm so sorry that happened. Oh, that's awful. Oh. Diego says, I'm trying to memorize a concerto song. Oh, yeah, that's hard. Which concerto? I'm curious. It's hard. I tried memorizing actually the Nielsen concerto. So for the competition in Paris, they had a list of pieces you could choose from for the different rounds. And I chose for one of the rounds, or the final round, I guess, I chose Nielsen. I didn't make it to the final round, but and it wasn't required to be my memory, thank God. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gone. But I tried. My teacher at the time had told me like, try memorizing it just to reinforce like how well you know it. Of course, like when you perform, you can have your music, but if you try memorizing it, then it's the music's going to sink in just a bit deeper. So when you do look at the music, it's going to feel really, really, really comfortable for you. So I kind of memorized, a fair amount of it. I think the whole first movement I basically memorized, again, just as more of an exercise. Yeah. Some of you are still here. Wow. I love that. Thank you. I feel like I could talk like if I feel like I could just talk forever sometimes. But I know that people don't love that. But honestly, I said this earlier, it'd be actually kind of cool. Maybe not for the next 2 concerts, after which I'm taking a break, by the way. But maybe in the future, I would do these things on Zoom if people are interested, because then, first of all, I could see your face, if you want to put your camera on, which you wouldn't have to. But then we could actually like talk, apart from just by text in the chat. So maybe that would be kind of nice. Diego says, I'm doing the Anthony Ritchie Concerto. It's much more popular in New Zealand, where it was written for Alexa Still, than in the US, where I am. So it's great to share an uncommon piece with peeps. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely have not heard of that concerto, but I love Alexa Still. I studied with her at Orford, my 3rd summer at Orford, 3 years ago, I think. Oh my gosh. My last summer there, I studied with her. I actually worked on the partita with her, which was really, really cool. And I was considering applying to Oberlin for a master's or an artist diploma. So yeah, Alexa Still is really awesome. That's really, really cool, Diego. Wow. I'll definitely look into it. I've heard there's also the Rodrigo concerto. Is that what his name is? Which is apparently like insanely difficult. Yeah. Just a quick question though. Has the sound been okay like throughout the show? I mentioned that I'm testing out this new mic, but I'm not convinced yet because like I'll just show you actually. So it's like this. So this is like the gain, and it's like I can lower the input, but then it always climbs back up on its own. Like this isn't fixed, it just keeps going forever. And I don't know if that's like the most ideal thing. Like it sounds, I tried it in like GarageBand briefly, it sounded nice. And what's cool is that you can attach it to the MacBook directly. You have a USB thing, and you have for the iPhone. So you have 3 different wires that all can go onto different devices, which is awesome. But that gain thing is like really annoying. It might have an automatic setting. You should be able to change that. Yeah, I was gonna look into it today, but I forgot. But like, there's not really many buttons. Like I can click to mute, and then there's something with headphones. So I don't know how I would change that. Jack says there's a slight staticky sound sometimes when you play. Okay. Tone quality and talking quality generally sounds nice. Okay, thanks, Jackie, for letting me know. Yeah, I think I heard a bit of that when I was testing it this morning. Like it doesn't clip though, right? It doesn't really clip. It just, there's a bit of a sound that's when it's too loud. Yeah. I'm going to try maybe another. There's another mic I have in mind that I want to test. Okay, should be somewhere in the instructions where you could change the settings when it's plugged into the computer. Yeah, that does make sense, Sarah. I do have them. Oh, actually, no. Where did it go? Where did it? Oh. I'll look at it after. I told myself to look at the instruction manual. Because I have ADHD, I didn't do it. Sarah says, I think it still sounds good. Thanks. Yeah, I think it's not bad. I think it's always just kind of a mess with the speaker, like having the speaker and myself playing. It's always going to be a bit wonky. But yeah, I'm fine. I know. I was like, Caitlin, you should check if there is a way to not have it just like go how it wants to go. And then I did other things clearly. So yeah. I'm so excited for the next concert. Don't want to say the secret though, but yes, there will be 3 guests next concert. And I'll announce them soon. And it's going to be super fun. I'll probably let you guys go in a minute or 2. I'm going to go lie in bed, to be honest, and do not much until my takeout arrives later. But this is so fun. It went by so fast. I don't even understand. I thought this was like my longest program, but it still felt like it was like 5 minutes. So that sucks. But thank you for being here. If you guys have any last questions or comments, let me know. I'll stick around for another minute. And then I will say goodbye until next month. This time it's just going to be in 4 weeks, I'm pretty sure. I also am getting my vaccine tomorrow. Yay! First dose. I'm excited. So next month I will be vaccinated. Diego says, thank you so much for an amazing time. It's a real privilege to have been able to attend. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. That means a lot to me. Really. Thank you. All right. I am going to let you guys go. Make sure to check out all the resources down below in the description box. You can send a tip my way anytime this week. I usually wait a few days at least before I make the donation to the Black Healing Fund. So if you can't donate today, but you want to donate in the next couple of days, that's okay too. And if you donate more than $10, you will get back a bonus music video. And yeah, I will see you on Saturday, June 26th at 1 p.m. on YouTube as well. I want to test out Zoom, but I know I need to be consistent, so it'll just be on YouTube. Anyways, maybe in the future. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Bye, Sarah. I love you. See you tomorrow, Sarah. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Take care, and I will see you next month. / on social media. Always follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe to my newsletter. Subscribe to me on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter. I post a lot mainly on Instagram. So definitely make sure to follow me there. Okay, bye. Love you guys. Bye.